Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. If you've ever walked past a coin jar, emptied your pockets without thinking, or handed over a quarter without a second glance, you might be surprised to learn that one of the most common coins in America could be worth a fortune. Rarest coins today. We're talking about the 1965 Washington quarter, a coin that many people believe is worth just 25 cents. But one rare version of it shocked the world when it sold for an astonishing $1.8 million. That's right, a quarter that you could easily overlook might just be your ticket to life-changing wealth. Let's dive into the story. The Washington quarter has been a mainstay of American coinage since 1932. It was originally created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, and it quickly became the standard quarter used in the United States. For decades, these coins were struck in 90% silver. But by the mid-1960s, everything changed. In 1965, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint made a major decision. That year marked the official end of silver quarters for regular circulation. Instead of using silver, the Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition, a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel. This change made the 1965 quarter a historic turning point in American coinage. It was the first year that quarters were no longer made of silver. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.8 billion quarters in 1965. That's billion with a B. So on the surface, the 1965 quarter isn't rare at all. You can still find them in circulation today. Most of them are worth only face value. But the reason we're talking about this coin isn't because of how many were made. It's because of a few very special quarters that slipped through the cracks. You see, during the transition from silver to clad coinage, not everything went perfectly. A few silver planchets, those are the blank metal discs used to strike coins, were still left in the Mint's machines from 1964. And somehow, some of those silver planchets were struck with the 1965 quarter design and released into circulation. These accidental silver 1965 quarters are incredibly rare. Fewer than a couple dozen are confirmed to exist. And that's where the story of the $1.8 million quarter begins. A collector, examining what looked like an ordinary 1965 quarter, noticed something unusual. The color was slightly different. The edge of the coin was missing the usual copper stripe you see on clad quarters. That's a key sign. On a silver quarter, the edge looks solid silver all the way around. Curious, the collector had the coin weighed. A standard clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. But this one was heavier, closer to 6.25 grams, which matches the weight of a pre-1965 silver quarter. That was the first major clue. The coin was then sent to a professional grading service. Experts confirmed it had been struck on a silver planchet and graded it in near-perfect mint state condition. That combination, the silver error and pristine condition, made it one of the rarest and most desirable modern quarters ever discovered. When it went to auction, collectors and investors alike knew it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Bidding escalated quickly. In the end, this historic 1965 silver era quarter sold for an incredible $1.8 million. Now let's talk about what you should look for if you want to spot one of these rare quarters yourself. Start by checking the edge of the coin. If you see a copper core on the edge, it's probably a regular clad quarter. But if the edge is solid silver all the way around, you might have something rare. Next, weigh the coin using a precise digital scale. If it weighs around 6.25 grams, that could mean it's struck on a silver planchet. You can also look closely at the color and sound. Silver coins tend to have a duller, smoother look, and they produce a higher pitched ring when dropped on a hard surface compared to clad coins. Be careful though, never damage a coin trying to test it. And if you believe you found one, do not clean the coin. Cleaning can ruin the value. Instead, get it professionally graded by a company like PCGS or NGC. They'll determine its authenticity and assign it a grade based on condition. Even outside of the silver errors, some high-grade 1965 quarters are worth serious money. Coins that have never been circulated and have perfect surfaces can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, especially if they show unusual errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or missing design details. But let's wrap it up with the most important takeaway. The 1965 Washington quarter represents a turning point in American coin history, the end of the silver era and the start of a new age in U.S. coinage. While billions of 1965 quarters are still floating around, Only a handful were struck in silver by mistake. One of those sold for an unbelievable $1.8 million, making it one of the most valuable modern quarters ever. So the next time you're handed a quarter in change, take a moment and look closely. Because what looks like a simple coin might just be a piece of history worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more surprising coin discoveries. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to start checking your quarters a little more closely. And remember, keep checking your change, because you never know when you might find a treasure worth millions. See you in the next video. If you want, I can also help you develop a voiceover style, suggest visuals, or create a shorter version for TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Just let me know. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden gems in your pocket change. If you've ever tossed a quarter aside without thinking twice, you may want to think again. Because today, we're diving into one of the most shocking stories in modern coin collecting. The incredible case of a 1996 D. Washington quarter that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 25-cent coin from 1996, minted in Denver, that ended up being worth more than a house. But how is that even possible? What makes this quarter so special? And could you have one sitting in your collection or coin jar right now? Stick around, because we're going to cover the history of the 1996 D quarter, what makes it potentially valuable, and how a rare minting mistake may have created one of the most sought-after coins of the modern era. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a fixture of American currency since 1932. Originally introduced to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, it quickly became the standard design and has remained mostly unchanged for decades. By 1996, the Washington quarter was still being struck in its familiar copper-nickel-clad composition. No silver, no gold, just your average change. The Denver Mint produced over 925 million quarters in 1996. That's almost a billion coins. So how does something so common become so valuable? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and error. In the world of coin collecting, the tiniest details can make all the difference. A minting mistake, a wrong metal, a double die, or an off-center strike. These kinds of errors create unique coins that collectors are willing to pay thousands, and sometimes millions, of dollars for. The 1996 D quarter that sold for $1.3 million was not just any coin. According to multiple expert appraisals and auction reports, this specific coin was struck on a pure silver planchet instead of the usual copper-nickel-clad material. That means the metal blank used to mint this coin was never meant for a regular circulation quarter. How does something like that even happen? Every now and then, a planchet from a previous or special issue coin accidentally gets mixed into the wrong batch at the mint. It could be from a commemorative silver coin or even a leftover blank from a previous year. When the wrong planchet ends up in the coin press, it creates a rare error coin, a coin that was never supposed to exist. This 1996 D quarter not only had the wrong metal, but it was also in nearly perfect condition. That means it had very little wear, sharp details, and flawless surfaces. It was graded by a top-tier service like PCGS or NGC, and given a grade that collectors dream of, something close to mint state 69 or even 70, which is the highest possible grade on the scale. Now here's where things got wild. When this silver error quarter hit the auction block, it caused a frenzy. Bidders from around the world jumped in. Private collectors, dealers, and even museums were involved. The competition drove the final price up to an astonishing $1.3 million. That's not a typo. $1.3 million. For one quarter. So what should you look for? Start by checking the mint mark. The 1996 D quarter has a small D on the front, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That stands for the Denver Mint. Now check the color and edge of the coin. If it looks silver all the way through, with no copper edge, you might be holding something special. Weighing the coin can help too. A standard 1996 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more or less, especially around 6.25 grams, the weight of a silver quarter, then it's worth investigating further. Use a magnifying glass to look closely at the details. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers. Look for signs of a misstrike. Anything unusual could increase the value. And if you find something that seems off, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can reduce its value instantly. Instead, take it to a certified coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service. Even if you don't have the 1 in a million silver strike, there are still 1996 D quarters worth collecting. Some with unique die cracks or off-center strikes can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And high-grade examples, meaning coins that have never been circulated, can fetch premium prices from collectors who want pristine versions for their sets. Let's break it down one last time. The 1996 D Washington quarter is usually just another coin in your pocket. But one rare error coin struck on a silver planchet and preserved in perfect condition sold for an incredible $1.3 million. That's the power of rarity, condition, and demand in the world of numismatics. The next time you're sorting through your change or flipping through an old coin collection, pay close attention. Because you never know. That plain-looking quarter might just change your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this story fascinating, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into valuable coins you might already own. Drop a comment below if you have a 1996 D quarter or if you've ever found a coin that made your jaw drop. And remember, the next $1 million coin could be in your pocket right now. See you in the next video. Would you like background music suggestions, visual ideas, or a shorter TikTok-style version too? Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we explore the hidden treasures in your pocket change. If you're into coins, collectibles, or just want to know if you're sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it, then hit that like button and subscribe because today, we've got an amazing story for you. We're diving deep into the 1988 D Washington quarter, a coin that might just be lying around in your house or your coin jar. But here's the twist. While most 1988 D quarters are only worth their face value, there's one known example that sold for an unbelievable $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.20 turned into $1,200,000. Now let's talk about how that happened. First, a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was originally meant to be a one-year commemorative coin, but it was so popular that it became a permanent part of American coinage. Fast forward to 1988, and the Denver Mint produced millions of quarters, over 596 million to be exact. So, in general, these aren't rare. They're common. But as with any mass production, mistakes can happen. And sometimes those mistakes can make a coin extremely valuable. Now let's get into the details. The 1988 D quarter in question is valuable not just because it's old, but because it's unique. It has an extremely rare minting error. We're talking about a coin that was struck on the wrong planchet or has a major die clash or double die. Errors that are so rare, they can drive collectors wild. In one specific case, the $1.2 million quarter is believed to have been struck on a silver planchet that was never intended for circulation that year. Remember, quarters in 1988 were made of copper nickel. So if a silver one pops up, that's a huge red flag in the best way possible. Let's break it down. Imagine this. A silver planchet from decades past somehow made its way into the coin press at the Denver Mint in 1988. It gets struck with the Washington quarter design and then released into circulation completely by accident. That kind of mint error is what coin collectors dream about. It's like hitting the jackpot. Oh, how did it sell for $1.2 million? The coin surfaced at a high-profile auction where top numismatists, that's the fancy name for coin experts, were gathered. It had been authenticated and graded by one of the major grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Its grade? Nearly perfect. That's important. A rare error combined with a high grade is the formula for a big payout. In the auction room, the bidding went wild. It was a once-in-a-lifetime find. Eventually, a private collector sealed the deal with a final bid of $1.2 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Could I have one of these quarters? The answer is maybe. While this specific coin is one of a kind, there are other valuable 1988 D quarters out there. For example, look for doubling in the letters or numbers. That's called a double die error. Or check for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or unusual coloring or weight. If something looks or feels off, it might be worth something. Here's what you can do. Grab a magnifying glass and inspect your 1988 D quarters. Pay close attention to the edges, the details in Washington's hair, the mint mark, and the lettering. If something looks strange, don't ignore it. Next, check the weight. A regular quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin is heavier or lighter, that could be a sign it's made from the wrong metal. And remember, condition matters. A coin in mint state, meaning it looks brand new with no wear and tear, is worth much more than one that's been through the laundry a dozen times. So, let's wrap this up. The 1988 D. Washington quarter is a common coin with an uncommon story. While most are worth just 25 cents, one exceptional example made history when it sold for $1.2 million. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment if you've got a 1988 D quarter or any interesting coins you want us to check out in future videos. And remember, always check your change. You just might be holding a $1 million coin. See you in the next one. Let me know if you want a shorter version, voiceover tips, or video ideas to go with this script. Welcome back to the channel where we dig into the surprising value of ordinary coins that could be hiding in your pocket, coin jar, or old collection. Today we're going to talk about one of the most unbelievable stories in modern coin collecting. The 1986 P. Washington quarter. This is a coin you've probably seen or even spent without thinking twice. But what if I told you that one of these quarters sold for an eye-watering $1.4 million? That's right. A simple 25-cent piece, minted in Philadelphia, turned out to be one of the most valuable modern quarters ever discovered. So what made it worth that much money? Could there be more out there? Could you be holding one without even knowing it? Let's break it down. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was originally a commemorative coin, but quickly became a permanent fixture in American currency. By the time 1986 came around, the Washington quarter had seen very few changes. It was still made from a copper-nickel-clad composition and carried the familiar image of Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. In 1986, the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the small letter P on the obverse of the coin, produced more than 551 million quarters. That's over 500 million coins. So normally, this is not a rare coin. You can still find 1986 P quarters in circulation today. Most of them are worth only face value. But in the world of coin collecting, it's not about how many were made. It's about what makes one specific coin different from all the others. So here's what happened. A rare minting error turned one ordinary 1986 P quarter into a collector's dream. The coin in question was mistakenly struck on a planchet that wasn't meant for a regular quarter. Some experts believe it may have been a leftover silver planchet from a special mint set or a test strike for a different metal composition. Whatever the case, it was not supposed to be used in circulation. That mistake created a one-of-a-kind coin, but that's not the only thing that made it valuable. This particular coin was also in stunning condition. It showed no signs of wear and had almost flawless surfaces and sharp details. Professional grading companies gave it an extremely high grade, placing it in the elite category of mint state 69 or possibly 70. Nearly perfect on the grading scale. So when this coin went up for auction, it caused a sensation. Collectors, dealers, and investors from all over the world joined the bidding war. It wasn't just about the metal or the error. It was about owning a piece of modern minting history. In the end, the coin sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That sale stunned the collecting world and sent people racing to check their change. Could there be more of these rare error coins out there? Could someone else stumble across another multi-million-dollar mistake? So what should you be looking for? First, check the mint mark. A 1986 P quarter will have a small P just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Then check the edge of the coin. A typical clad quarter will show a copper line along the edge. If your coin has a solid silver-colored edge, it might have been struck on the wrong metal. Weigh the coin as well. A normal clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter or an error coin may weigh slightly more or less. Use a magnifying glass to examine the coin closely. Look for doubling in the lettering or numbers. That could be a double die error. Check for any signs of off-center strikes or unusual features like missing details or strange textures. Anything that looks out of the ordinary might be worth investigating. And if you think you've found something special, do not clean the coin. Cleaning can ruin the surface and drop the value significantly. Instead, Take the coin to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll be able to authenticate it, grade it, and potentially change your life. Even if you don't find the $1 million version, there are still 1986 P quarters worth collecting. High-grade examples, especially those that have never been circulated, can sell for hundreds of dollars. Coins with minor mint errors can also be valuable to the right buyer. So let's recap. The 1986 P Washington quarter is a common coin with an extraordinary story. While most are worth only 25 cents, one rare error coin with a silver planchet and perfect condition sold for $1.4 million. That sale shocked the coin world and proved that even modern coins can hold massive value. If you know what to look for. So the next time you get change from the store or dig through an old coin jar, take a moment and check your quarters. Because the next $1 million find might be sitting right in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about valuable coins you might already own, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Drop a comment below if you have a 1986 P quarter or any other coin you want us to investigate in a future episode. And always remember, never underestimate the value of your change. See you in the next one. Let me know if you want visual or audio suggestions to go with the video or a shortened version for YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the hidden value in everyday coins that most people completely overlook. Whether you're a coin collector, a treasure hunter, or just someone hoping to find something valuable in your change, today's story is one you won't want to miss. Rarest coins, we're talking about the 1995 D Washington quarter. A coin you probably used for parking meters, vending machines, or maybe forgot about in a junk drawer. But here's the jaw-dropping truth. One of these quarters, minted in Denver in 1995, sold for an unbelievable $1.5 million. That's right, a single 25-cent coin turning into a life-changing fortune. So how did this happen? Why would anyone pay that kind of money for such a common-looking coin? And could you be holding one without even knowing it? Let's dig into the story. First, a little history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of America's first president. It quickly became a staple of American coinage. By 1995, the Washington quarter still featured the same classic portrait on the front and the eagle design on the back. These coins were made from a copper-nickel clad composition with no precious metal content. Just ordinary coins meant for everyday use. The Denver Mint produced over 1 billion Washington quarters in 1995. That's right, more than 1 billion coins. So at first glance, it seems almost impossible that any 1995 D quarter could be worth more than face value. But as collectors and dealers will tell you, it's not about how many were made. It's about how many were made with errors, on wrong planchets, or in extraordinary condition. And that's where the magic of this particular coin begins. The 1995 D quarter that made headlines was no ordinary coin. It was a one-of-a-kind minting error, a coin struck on a planchet intended for a completely different coin, likely a silver commemorative or experimental piece. It wasn't supposed to exist, but somehow it did. That alone makes it rare, but that's not all. This coin was also in nearly perfect condition. It had never been used in circulation. No scratches, no wear, no discoloration. It was what collectors call a mint state coin, graded by professionals as being near flawless, possibly even a mint state 70 on the official scale, which is the highest grade a coin can receive. When this rare coin went to auction, it didn't take long for the bidding to go wild. Top collectors knew what they were looking at. They recognized how rare it was to find a 1995 D quarter with this level of quality and an extraordinary minting error on top of that. The price kept climbing until it hit $1.5 million. It's a stunning example of how one small mistake at the mint can turn a common coin into a collector's dream. Now you're probably wondering, what should I look for in my own coins? Here's what you need to know. First, check the mint mark. The 1995 D quarter will have a small D on the obverse side, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That means it was minted in Denver. Next, look at the edge of the coin. A normal clad quarter will have a visible copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. But if your coin has a solid silver-looking edge with no copper showing, that could be your first clue that something is off. Then, use a scale. A regular 1995 D quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs noticeably more or less, it may have been struck on a planchet mint for another denomination or a different metal. That's another sign of a possible error coin. Grab a magnifying glass and examine the coin's details. Look closely at the lettering and numbers. Check for doubling, especially on the word Liberty or the date. A double die error could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars on its own. Also, inspect for off-center strikes, die cracks, or anything else unusual. Any of these features could increase your coin's value dramatically. Most importantly, if you think you've found something special, do not clean the coin. Cleaning a coin can ruin its surface and drastically lower its value. Instead, get the coin authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will confirm what you have and give it an official grade, which determines its value on the market. Even if your coin isn't worth millions, high-grade 1995 D quarters that have never been used in circulation can still be worth hundreds of dollars, sometimes even more if there's a minor mint error. Coin dealers and collectors are always looking for these gems to complete their sets. Let's recap what we learned. The 1995 D Washington quarter is one of the most common coins in America, but one incredibly rare error coin, struck on a wrong planchet and preserved in mint condition, sold for $1.5 million. It's a perfect reminder that even the most ordinary-looking coin can hide an extraordinary secret. And it proves that the world of coin collecting still has surprises waiting to be discovered. The next time you're handed change at the grocery store, take a second to check those quarters. You might be holding the next million-dollar treasure without even realizing it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more stories about valuable coins, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1995 D quarter or if you've ever found a rare coin in your own pocket. And as always, keep checking your change, because you never know what you might find. See you in the next one. Let me know if you'd like visuals, coin images, background music ideas, or a shorter version for YouTube Shorts or TikTok.